Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. So yeah, let me talk about Gungrave G.O.R.E today, one of the weirdest games I have played this year. And it's a game that I don't even know if I like or not. After playing maybe about 6 hours, I still can't put my finger on it. The missus got me this at Christmas. It was a stocking filler and I had it sealed for a couple of months now, and I've kind of been buried in like really lengthy games recently. I finished Diablo 4 and then I started replaying games like Final Fantasy 7, and I've been replaying Fallout 3 and a couple of other games, and those are just chunky meaty games, and ultimately I just wanted to take a break from those. This felt like the right choice at the time, but now I'm not 100% sure if I picked the right game. I think the first problem I have with this game right now is it's actually really long. Like, I've played 6 hours of it and it feels like I've gotten nowhere in regards to the length of this campaign. And I actually looked it up on how long to beat. That's one of the websites that shows you estimated time average of how long you can actually beat a game. And supposedly I'm not even halfway through the game yet. So I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to survive the entire playthrough of this, to be honest. And the first, I suppose, attribute of this game is noisy. I mean, it is really noisy. I know this sounds weird, but I mean, it's just consistent banging, shooting over and over and over again. Like, it's nearly on auto scroll at times when there's literally no downtime between any of the action, really. It's very in your face all the time, and I honestly just found that quite draining after a solid maybe hour and a half play really in a row, if that makes sense. So if you do intend on playing this, just consider taking it in a phased approach. But anyway, let's just talk about what actually Gungrave G.O.R.E is. It's a sequel to Gungrave, which was a PS2 title, which at the time was an all-out balls to the wall, straightforward action game, released in around 2002, I believe. Now, I wouldn't say that Gungrave as a series was necessarily slept on, but yeah, it was a little, let's call it a little gem on the PS2. Not brilliant, but enjoyable fun while it lasted. So I was actually quite excited to see this being revisited and revived. I believe it was Microsoft who kicked this off first. And it is available on Gamepass, so that's probably one of the most attractive aspects of this right now, is if you have a Gamepass, it's on that. As I said, I am actually playing the PS5 copy, which was given to me by the missus, as I mentioned earlier. But essentially, it's a third-person action game, very straightforward one of that. And from a baseline controls perspective, you move the character with your left analog, you turn the camera with your right, you pretty much hold down RT to fire, and he automatically fires. So the Grave guy, he pretty much fires his pistols in an automatic manner. While you're firing your pistols, then you can tap the triangle key on the PS5 controller, and that pretty much allows Grave to shoot in all angles. So if he's surrounded, he can shoot his pistols everywhere around him, essentially. Triangle serves as a button for essentially special moves, let's call them, and you can assign for them in your slots. You trigger those by pressing L1, and then you hit triangle then to trigger the particular one. There is a basic melee mechanic in this as well by using the circle button, and essentially you can just tap it 2 or 3 times and you pull off a melee combo. It looks like he's swinging a big guitar case or something like that on his back that he's kind of walking around with. Also, in certain instances, you can stagger your enemies, and then you can tap R1 and you can do a kind of a special melee move. It pretty much gives you health as well when you do it. So yeah, everything is fairly basic. There's, you've seen these things before. It's got a fury mode as well, where pretty much it just amplifies all the damage, and it looks pretty cool, to be honest with you. And as I said, this game can be fun when it gets into a kind of a flow, the flow of combat, and you're doing all these moves all together in a nice kind of blended sequence. But yeah, I mean, I think the issue I have with this game is it gets old, and it gets old pretty fast. And I'm kind of come to a point now where it's like, yes, I'm 6 hours into it. I'm nowhere near finished to it. Do I just give up now at this stage, or do I just keep motoring on? You know what a type of game it could be for somebody is, if you stick on Spotify or something in the background and you want to listen to a podcast, or you want to listen to maybe your favorite album or something like that, and maybe you want to have a beer or something, just chill out. This is probably an ideal choice for that, and that's probably where I got my most fun out of it, just by really just turning your brain off and chilling out. But look, I can't recommend anybody go out and buy this at a high price. Anything beyond 20 euros physically, honestly, keep your cash in your pocket. If you can get it secondhand in CAX for maybe a tenner or something, and as I said, if you have Game Pass, I think that's the easiest access point for this type of game. Anyway guys, that was my quick look at Gungrave G.O.R.E. If you've played it, let me know in the comments. I'm interested to see what other people think. Maybe I'm wrong about this, maybe I'm being a bit overly harsh on it. And as always, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy this content, please consider supporting my channel. It helps my channel grow by subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.